And we're back. What's going on, guys? This is the Armstrong Avenue podcast. It's Big Mike, the host. I'm here with Scott Armstrong. What's up, dude?
What up, Big Mike?
Oh, man, another fun episode. This is number 4. We are
Number
4 in, dude.
4. Man, I'm gonna need counting lessons. I could do 3, but
I
now
was about
4.
to say, you've been doing 1, 2, 3 for so long. Getting to 4 may be a little hard for you.
Yes. Yeah, y'all. I want all the viewers and all the listeners to help me with that. So please like and subscribe to the Armstrong Avenue podcast.
Yeah, make sure you go and subscribe to it, because we've had 3 phenomenal episodes. We went through some growing pains. In the first episode, we said book scottarmstrong.com. We came back, though, figured it out. It's actually book scottarmstrong at Gmail if you want to book him for anything, including cooking his famous biscuits, which 4 episodes in, I'm still waiting.
You know what? I need to. If I send you a picture, can you post it?
Oh, the biscuits?
Yes.
Yeah. I could throw that up on social media.
So I didn't know if you could throw it up on this podcast for the.
Oh, I could do that. Yeah, post production, I'll throw it up.
Okay, all right. Remind me. I'll send it to you. Yeah, I
Heck
literally the other day. So, my brother put some overstrong. Well, my whole family does. It's really easy to do. And the other day, I'm wake up, look at Twitter, and I have a direct message from Rock's daughter. Now her name is Ava and Simone, and so and she said, "Hey, you've been gone a while. You never told me how you made those biscuits." I just started laughing. And so I literally yesterday I made them and I took a picture of them and sent them to her and said, "Oh, she goes, "Oh, I still got to make those." And I waited till I got them all. Everybody goes, "Oh, well, you need a biscuit cutter." And I have a Disney cup that I got at Disney that I use. It makes perfect biscuit sizes.
Really? Amazing.
Yeah. Anyway, like and subscribe. And subscribe.
That's right. Go like and subscribe. So in episode 3, we spent some time talking. I showed a little video of Armstrong Avenue. Your father, Bob, Brad Armstrong was in it. And then after the show, you were like, "Man, there's some other videos out there." And I had actually sent you a picture earlier yesterday where I found a photo of you and your
Johnny and Davey Rich.
Yeah, back what year was that?
I want to say 89, probably 89.
You were all champions.
Maybe you can stick that in post production too.
I'll try to do that. Okay, but you told me, you were like, "Go find this video." So
yeah, there's a video did you find it? Oh, dude. That's like 1989. and so Johnny and Davey and myself, we were the party boys. That was our gimmick. The 3-man team, like the Freebirds. We were the party boys. And this was like in the Knoxville, Tennessee, Kentucky area. And so they came and said, "Hey, we want to do a video with you 3 guys going out on the town." And of course, at that time, 3 dudes. And I think I was a newlywed. My wife saw this video at the time and said, "What in the what did I marry?" Now, bless her heart, she knows.
She knows now.
Yeah, she wishes she would have bailed a long time ago. So Johnny Rich, for those that don't know, Tommy Wildfire Rich was a superstar back in the day, and the Georgia Championship Wrestling when Ted Turner took it all over, and so Johnny had a cousin on the other side, Davey Rich, and so Johnny and Davey, the Rich cousins, and so one time they won. This was I want to say, what was the name of that company? United States Wrestling. Anyway, it was Knoxville. And they were the tag team champions, and I had just beaten Nelson Royal for the World Junior Heavyweight Championship, and so that picture you had, we were all champions. It's the only picture that matters, right? Not when you're not the champion, only when you are the champions.
That's funny. I seen it. just like I said in the last episode, I've been doing a lot of research, trying to pull things up to bring back memories for you and to
Oh,
give
dude.
talking points. And I found there's people who just post these pictures from the territory days or videos,
Yes.
and I'll go, okay, screenshot.
Yeah.
I'll
Yes.
screenshot it.
Yeah.
And that's why I seen that picture. I was like, I don't know who these other two guys are, but I know that's Scotty. I'm gonna send this one to him.
Yeah, man, that was a lot of fun. Those guys are great guys, and we had a lot of fun. We actually, we would go to Knoxville and wrestle every week, and it was costing us an arm and a leg in hotel rooms, and so we ran across some college dudes that were going home for the summer. They were going to UT, University of Tennessee, in Knoxville, and they said, "Yeah, we're going home for the summer, and we have this condo that we have to rent." They said, "If y'all will just pay the monthly bill for, like June, July, August, uh, you can have this place." It was a 4 bedroom. Oh, I shouldn't even keep talking. It'll get me divorced 35 years after getting married. It was a
I'll edit
really,
that out. I'll edit that
yeah,
out.
yeah, please edit that out. It was a cool setup though, and we had a lot of fun. We did. The best part, what kept me married was right across the street in another set of condos. My dad was working that territory too, and he was living there, and my mom was living with him. They had kept their house in Pensacola, but they were living up there at the time. So my mom and dad being across the street is what kept me married.
They kept you right in line, didn't they?
Yeah, yes, daily.
That's awesome. That
That's
is
funny.
awesome. So,
But
so as always, we've been doing the Ask Scott segment on the on online. Any way to ask Scott, or it's hashtag Ask Scott or hashtag Big Mike sucks. Either one, we're still pushing that. Let me know. I'll change up. But but we had a question come in. I'm pulling it up now on the so from Twitter user at Roycroft Music. He said, I'm curious about Bill Ash of Southeastern, the most unlikely looking wrestler. Looked like a high school shop teacher or something, but he could go in the ring. Never heard of him in any other territories. What was his story?
so Bill Ash, for the real old school wrestlers, I guess, that would happen to listen to this podcast or watch it. Bill Ash, his father, they were B&A Boot Company, and they made wrestling boots. And so Bill Ash didn't have the wrestler's body, didn't have the wrestler looks, didn't have, I don't know, he didn't have, he didn't have everything you would think a wrestler would need, except when he climbed through the ropes, he had the ability to make people hate him. And and that's what he did. And he could go in the ring. That guy that asked that question was right. He could go in the ring. He had wrestled in other territories in Texas and I think Memphis and had good runs, but in Southeastern, oh wow, that he had a real good run, and he would be the opening match, and he'd go. If there was a 15-minute time limit, he'd go 14 minutes and put his time in. And he was a journeyman, and back then those dudes that did that 14 minutes, six nights a week, and in the same towns, like I've said on other of our episodes, you got to be able to change it up. You've got to. And Bill, he did that. He could adapt, and he'd have people losing their minds, wanting to kill him because the way he looked, he didn't look like an athlete. So
Mhm.
every paying customer was sure in their mind that they could kick this guy's ass, and they might have been able to, but they didn't try because he was just a good worker,
Yeah.
really good. And look, I had great matches with him. I always got along great with him. I'll tell you, one time in Pensacola, um, my brother and I don't know where we were going. We were in the car, and my brother goes, "Isn't that Bill Ash?" And he was walking. We were in downtown Pensacola, and Bill was walking down the sidewalk. My brother said, "Isn't that Bill Ash?" And I said, "God, I think it is." And he just pulled over and It was Brad, and he stuck his head out of the car and said, "Bill Ash, I'm going to beat your ass." And Bill just literally started power walking away from us. He didn't know it. He didn't even know it was us. He just heard somebody saying, "I'm going to beat you." I said, "Brad, get back in the car, man." But that was Bill. He would not. He just didn't want any crap. You know what I mean? But he was great in the ring, really good. But that's who I got my wrestling boots from. Oh my gosh, forever. That's who I ordered from, was his dad. And but I'm ashamed of myself to not know where he is today, because I should know that answer, and I just don't.
Well, if
But
anybody knows, hit us up at WWE Armstrong on Twitter. Hit him up. Let him know.
yeah, put it in the
Let
comments. Put it
Yeah,
in the
let
comments.
us know. What old Bill Ash is up to these days.
I'd love to know. I
Uh,
hope he's still kicking.
that'd be great. That'd be great to get him on here and talk to you.
Oh, it would be. Yes, it would.
So, so you were saying driving down Main Street in Pensacola. Is
Yes.
that near the water?
Oh yeah, yeah. Everything in Pensacola is on the water. Just about everything. I mean, or really, really close. Everything.
Yeah.
It's the way Pensacola is. The city of Pensacola, and then there's a body of water and a 3 mile bridge that comes across Pensacola Bay into a city called Gulf Breeze. 2 words, Gulf Breeze, and then a small bridge that just goes up and over to Pensacola Beach. So the city of Pensacola and Pensacola Beach are separated by that 3 mile bridge, and then that little town Gulf Breeze. And Gulf Breeze is where I live, and there's water on both sides of me as we speak right now. And so, if there's ever the big tsunami, I'm screwed.
You're gone. You were gone.
Yes,
I was
you see
literally
me with
just
my
sitting.
floaties. I have my floaties on.
I was just sitting here going, man, that'd be awesome until one of them hurricanes come and
Yeah, no, I
what?
mean, look, we've had them. One hurricane. Look, I used to, in my youth, prior to having children, I just would stay. If a hurricane was coming, oh, let it come. Party on, a hurricane party, because that's a big thing down here. If hurricane come, a lot of people used to have hurricane parties and wait, and go through it. And so there was a big one coming, and it was Hurricane Ivan, I think, and it's been a good long time ago, 20 some odd years. But I remember calling Brad, who lived in up in Marietta, Georgia at the time, and me, my wife, and 2 kids went to Marietta and stayed with Brad. And the hurricane literally came right to our house, and then went straight up right to Brad's house. And so we end up, all that way away, and no power, and gone from our house for like 7 days. And when we drive back down, oh my God! I mean, if look, if you've never been a part of a hurricane or seen the aftermath, good for you,
Yeah.
because it's the most. I mean, being a fireman, I'm sure you've seen some crazy stuff. It's phone poles just snapped in two,
Mm,
and that's how it was at our house. And half our roof was just gone. Our back fence was, we were just in the neighbor's backyard.
yeah.
All the stuff. I mean, people came like weeks later and said, "Hey, is this your kids' Halloween stuff that we had out in our our little
Yeah.
utility building out back?" And look, it's a horrible thing, but hurricane seasons, you just keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. You just
Yep.
keep an eye on it, and that's what insurance is for, man. Homeowners.
Heck yeah, man. That's right. Yeah, I volunteer, or not really volunteer. I'm part of. I was at one point in time I was a FEMA DRT,
Yeah, yeah.
disaster response team member, but I got paid really well. FEMA pays good, but we did a lot of evacuations and stuff when it hit Savannah. Was that
Oh yeah, yeah.
2017 and 2018 was when I and yeah, actually, yes, it was 2017, 2018. I worked Savannah, and then I did evacuations out of Jacksonville and the Gulf when it came up and hit Panama City Beach
Yeah, yeah,
that year.
yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah,
worked
nobody,
96 hours straight during that time
wow.
period, um, just getting people out of the way, because you wouldn't think how many people that are unable to move, not able to walk and get in a car, and
Yeah.
What do you do with these people who are on life saving measures and
Sure.
machinery
Yep.
that if a hurricane comes through and knocks the power out, they're gonna die. So what do you
Yeah.
got to do?
No,
You got to
that's
go
it.
get them and get them out of there.
Our local news literally, because hurricane season started beginning of June, and they just did a 2 hour thing saying, okay, here's what you need, and it's tax free week or whatever, and we literally went and bought all the. You got to have your hurricane preparedness set up, and we do it every year because you don't know. Hey man,
Yeah.
better to have too many bottles of water at your house or too many batteries. Better to have too
Mhm.
many than be on day two of no power going, what do we do now?
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
So
I
anyway, yeah.
100% agree with that. Now
Hopefully,
back to the wrestling.
yes.
Oh man. So we've talked, me and you about our personal opinions of wrestling and the industry and how you've said it's evolved and there's a lot of I wouldn't say controversy out there, but there's a lot of people who question there's referees in general in today's world who go they seem to over exaggerate and oversell the things that are in the ring or put themselves in the limelight. I'm not gonna name any
Yes.
names, but I know many on the independent scene, many in other major companies who seem to get questioned for putting themselves more in the camera's view or the limelight or way
Yeah.
overselling what's going on in the ring. And I'm not a wrestler. I've never been a referee. I've podcasted, but as a fan, as a person who's watched wrestling and studied wrestling for as long as I have, I've always thought that's not your job. Like you need to put over the people in the ring, not yourself. I think the listeners are going to want to know what's your thoughts on that in the business right now.
So look, I'm a firm. So if you think about this, you're a wrestling fan. Excuse me. You're watching, whether you're watching live in the arena or whether you're watching at home, and you see a referee really overdo a move. The first thing you do, the first thing that person does is watch the referee. Well, what about the two guys that just did the incredible move? The referee, by overselling it, takes the attention off of the move. And I know for me personally, when I was a wrestler, if a referee did something like that, I know for a fact what I did. I went to him and said, "Hey, don't do that. Don't don't try to be dramatic when I'm putting my body on the line because let's be realistic. Whether in your heart you think wrestling is still real to me, damn it. Whether you think it's real or whether you think it's not real, it's physical. And the physicality of coming off of the second turnbuckle in a suplex position and landing on your back, that's just not something that people do every day. And so when you see somebody do that, well, that's got to hurt, right? Because you don't see the guy walking down the street take that. You don't see anybody. But if you see the referee really overdoing it, well, now that big suplex from the second rope has become a joke. Oh, well, it can't hurt because the referee's making a show. To At any given time in our business, a wrestler, male or female, can be injured to the point of paralysis. And it's happened. If I thought for a second I was the referee and on a big move where someone literally was paralyzed or broke a leg or broke an arm or their neck, and I was overdoing it and overacting, and it would kill me to know that I did that while that person was legitimately hurt. So, and I also come from the old school of at least act like you've been there. If you are a referee in our industry and you referee match after match after match, year after year after year, Well, hadn't you seen those moves before? Haven't you seen, the suplex from the top? Yeah, it's going to hurt the guy. But instead of overacting, wouldn't you step in and go, "Hey, dude, are you okay?" Or "Hey, girl, you all right?" Wouldn't you do that? To me, that I totally Scott Armstrong totally disagrees with that kind. And I know there's people, viewers, that watch and go, "Oh, I love when they do that." Well, okay, well, I mean, please watch and enjoy, because I can tell you this with. I was just over all the referees for the past year and a half down at NXT, and we literally taught all those referees never do that. Never, because you're literally taking away from the two guys that are putting their bodies on the line. Referees not putting their body on the line at all. They're just going down, counting to three, standing back up. I know I did it, and I did it at an older age than any of them that are out there right now. And so you're not putting your body on the line. But the boys and the girls that are taking those big bumps, they are putting their bodies on the line. And as a referee, if you don't respect that, when I was a wrestler, look, I didn't respect referees when I was a wrestler anyway until I became a referee. And once I became a referee, I realized, man, this job's a lot harder. And you want to, it's like you said at the beginning, you don't want to make it about yourself. You want to make it about the two wrestlers. Because I've said this before and I'll say it 100 more times. Referees do not sell tickets. They just give them away. Oh yeah, I'll leave a family of four. I'll leave 4 tickets at the box office. But there's never been 12-year-old little Johnny mowing the yard going, "Hey Dad, referee Scott Armstrong's in town tonight. Can we go see him?" And the dad go, "Yeah, let's go spend 4 tickets and a T-shirt and pop. Let's go spend $200 to go see the referee." That's never happened. And so when referees make it about themselves, well, that's ego. And if like for NXT when I was down there, if I was on headset and I saw that, I immediately said, "Oh, is this about you?" into their earpiece. And as soon as a referee hears that, it snaps them back into reality. Oh yeah, it's really not about me. It's about the athletes. And I don't know. I know different people feel differently, feel a number of ways about that. That's just how I feel. I feel like I know the injuries that I've been through in my career as a wrestler. And I feel like that's just, even as a referee, look, you can get hurt as a referee. And if I thought, we were on a pay per view. I want to say it was oh gosh, I know it was a pay per view. It was what's the Thanksgiving WWE pay per view they always do every year? Now I can't think of it anyway. It was
Shoot.
the 5-on-5
Survivor.
Survivor Series, yes, and it was 5-on-5 or whatever. And I went down to count at 1, 2, and here came Sheamus across the ring. To one of the other guys was coming in the ring, and Sheamus was just coming off across the ring to cut the guy off and save the pin, or save the guy from making the save for the pin. But I went 1, 2, and on 3, I just came up a little too high, and Sheamus's knee hit me right in the base of the back of the head. And I went right to the mat, gone, and all of a sudden I start realizing, I honestly, what was weird is the old school dial tone on a telephone. Anybody that remembers what the dial tone sounded like 100 years ago, like just one tone, monotone. That's what I heard in my head. And I realized, man, something's not right. And the bottom rope was right close to me. And I just grabbed the bottom rope and pulled myself and held onto the bottom rope. And in my earpiece, I heard Billy Kidman say, "Are you okay?" And when you see the X go up, the arms crossed, people put the X up. That means somebody's hurt bad. And so I put the X up, was still having the rope hooked. I put the X up, and he said, "Is that for you?" And I put my fist up like, yes. he laughed in my earpiece so hard. He said, and I could hear him say, "Well, that's a first. Never had a referee put the X up for themselves." But that just goes to show you that the referee can get hurt in a match too. They
Yeah.
really, I mean, they really can. And so it's just, I know I went off and tell that story, but Seamus didn't mean to, by the way. He apologized 1,000 times, called me all night, took me to the hospital. I had a concussion. They sent me home the next day. But it was a total something that it happens in our industry. It can happen. So if that happened to one of the guys and I was overdoing it and making fun of it, wow, that the dude really got hurt and I'm acting a fool up here. To me, it just doesn't have a place in the business. It's just that simple. It just doesn't have a place.
What, and even that you just said you slipped up, came up too high, and caught a knee to the back of the head on total accident. So the
Yes,
guys spend, I've watched them before shows, hours preparing this match. They don't have the referee in there. They're not going to know the referee's going to oversell a move, and the referee could get in the way of what they have planned next.
for sure.
And
Sure.
that
It's happening.
could injure the guy, as you said, injure the guys. It could seriously
Yes.
injure the referee.
Yep.
Somebody could get hurt, and I don't think they're thinking about that so much as thinking about I gotta make myself a bigger face of this.
Yes.
To
Well,
me,
Mike, think about it. If I gave you a suplex and we're on the second turnbuckle and I hold you straight up and down, so your body's 8 or 9 feet in the air, and
I'm a
we
heavy
drop
dude.
straight back, and you hit the ground, and look, it could mess your hip up. And what if it did? What if it messed your hip up real bad? And you go, "Oh my God!" And you look up, and the referee's going, "Oh," and you go, I mean, dude, that would piss me off.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
telling you right now, it would. There's no doubt about it.
Make you want to stretch the referee out right there.
Yeah, it would definitely be a conversation that referee and I would have after the show, and that's a fact. That
Yeah.
would be a locker room conversation that referee would never forget. I'd probably lose my job over it because that would really piss me off. But I know some guys don't. I mean, look, it's 2022. It's a different time. People see things differently. But to me, I've said it before, it's a television show. It's a show. Some people say, "Oh, I love when the ref does that." I'm just not one of those guys. I
Yeah.
I want to. I put the emphasis on the talent and stick with what I'm saying. Referees don't sell tickets.
You heard it right there, folks. Referees don't sell tickets. But if you're
No.
looking to buy tickets for a show that Scott Armstrong's going to be on July 23rd, you can go to maineventwrestling.eventbrite.com.
Look at you.
We've got VIP tickets. You can buy some tickets to come see Scott Armstrong himself, his brother, Road Dogg Jesse James. Oh, you didn't know.
Yes.
Scott Steiner. He's probably going to be teaching a math class if you're interested.
If he gives me any crap over that, I'm telling him you said it, not me.
That's okay. That's okay. I'll take the heat for it. Teddy Long's going to be there.
Yeah.
Buff Bagwell will be there, which he's going through some stuff he's dealing with. He's actually filming his own show right now. I'll plug that for him. And some other folks, Johnny Swinger. Plus, we have all of the main event folks. But come see WWE Scott Armstrong, Road Dogg Jesse James, Hall of Famer Scott Steiner, and Hall of Famer Teddy Long. Maineventwrestling.eventbrite.com.
Yeah, this is
And you can see Big Mike.
Big Mike will be
the
there.
main attraction.
This is
Big Mike.
This is the spot where we slide in the advertisement right now. We're at the halfway point of our show, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Until we get to that point where we have them, I advertise.
Brought to you by bookscottarmstrong@gmail.com.
That's right. Book Scott Armstrong at gmail.com. If you're watching, look at the bottom.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yes, if you are for your viewing pleasure, and if you're in the car, do not text and drive. Just remember, book Scott Armstrong at gmail.com. Hold on. I guess it looks weird that I'm leaning off. Let me show you.
He's got
Dun
a
dun
microphone over
dun
there.
dun 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 dun. Dun. Yeah, there is a microphone.
Heck
Uh,
yeah. That's see if you want to book him, he'll referee your match. He'll just make an appearance. Like he just had an appearance the other day at the Continental Championship Wrestling.
yep, that's right.
So
Continental. Dude, I'll tell you what. It's we had talked about, you and I had talked about, I think the last episode about the independent circuit and how it's kicked off with all the WWE talent that has been
yep,
released, and it really has. And the summertime is like summertime's always the hottest time for the indies and the best crowds. And because look, come September, school's starting back, and crowds start falling off, and that's when you start finding out which independent shows been working hard all summer,
hmm
because they will keep the crowd, they will keep people coming back. And it's fun for me because I've been getting phone calls from a bunch of different indie bookers, and man, it's fun because I've been out of the game for 15 years with WWE, and now to be back out there and in the game, man, it's cool. I get a phone call, hey, I'm so and so, and I'm in Michigan, and I go, oh, okay, and then I start doing my homework and looking on Twitter and looking on other social media or YouTube to find their shows, to see if who do they have and who have they been booking, and it's a lot of fun. It's the salt of the earth when it comes to pro wrestling. Everybody starts somewhere.
yep. And it's hot right now. There's so many independent promotions. Now there's a lot of bad ones. You got to weed out the ones that are terrible. You know,
Yeah,
if
well, amen.
if the owner and booker is also your champion, and he's been the champion, and he's never worked anywhere else but himself,
Yeah, no,
he's
my
a
favorite. I'll never forget going to a show and the guy telling me, um, he said, "Yeah, it's the same pair of boots I've had for 17 years." And I said, "Those boots, wrestling boots you're putting on, you've had for 17 years." And he said, "That's right." And I said, "Well, how long have you been wrestling?" He said, 17 years. And I said, "So you have gone." I mean, I can remember going through wrestling boots. It was like a new pair every year. And having two or three on standby in case you blow a toe out. And I said, "So wait, you've had the same pair. You've wrestled for 17 years. You've had the same boots for 17." I said, "So how often do you wrestle?" And he goes, "I work here about once a month." And I literally started laughing, and I didn't. I said, "Dude, I don't mean to dish you, but are you the champ?" And he goes, "Well, I have been." And I started laughing again, and I said, "Dude, you gotta get down on the mat, man. You gotta fall down a little bit. You've had them boots 17 years. Come on, Daddy."
come on, Daddy, do something now.
You gotta do something. Yeah, you're telling me how your work is, and I haven't even seen your work yet. You don't go down. You just stay up. uh, it's
Oh
too
man,
much.
it's funny. He probably took one bump in his life and said, "I'll never do it again."
Yeah. Well, he was smart then.
I did.
He was smart.
I got in the ropes one day. I got to the Underground Fight Factory early before the first show. When I first met you, I got there super early because I was getting everything ready for the show, making sure everything was going to go smooth. Of course, we were still going through growing pains there, not really knowing exactly what we were going to do. It was our first time running out of there, and I decided I was like, I'm gonna get in the ring. Nobody's here. I ran the ropes and did and fell on my back like I've seen everybody else do, and it took the breath out of me. And I said, I will never do this again.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because hitting the ropes and seeing people fall on their back, that's like if you have a normal job where you take your card out and punch it in the thing, or you log on to put your time in. Well, that's the same thing for a wrestler.
hmm
And so you're just going to hit the ropes. And people have seen the wrestlers hit the ropes. Well, how many, if SmackDown's on for 2 hours or Raw's on 3 hours or whatever, you see people hit the ropes the whole show. You don't think about, I mean, like our WCW, they had like cables, but the cables, right, steel cables with like like rubber tubing over the top. And so they felt different. And then you get to WWE and it's real rope. I mean, like real, like you'd have a tug of war with. It's real rope with electrical tape over the top of it. So it's the real deal. And, and you don't think about how hard I remember the first day of training to, be a wrestler and just hitting the ropes over and over, and just the whole underneath of my rib cage just bruised. I mean, for weeks, and just discolored, all from just hitting those ropes over and over and over and over. But it's one of those things. If you don't know how to hit the ropes, people look at that and go, "Oh, they're no good." I mean, they will judge you immediately from seeing how you hit the ropes. If you hit it natural, they never notice. But if you don't hit it natural, they notice immediately, and they will label you. And so it's like falling on your back too. And I remember learning to fall on my back, and it's not a natural thing to fall on your back. It's just not natural. It's no human being is walking down the street and just does a flat back. And so you have to adjust your mindset to landing on your back. And so I can remember my dad saying, "Well, son, just throw your arms out and go back." And you just couldn't do it. But the minute that one of my brothers got on all fours, you think about, in school and you're messing with your boys or whatever, and the one guy'd go down on his hands and knees real quiet behind the other guy, and the guy give him the shove and he fall backwards over. That's how I learned to take a bump. That's exactly how I learned, over and over and over, of them being on all fours and me just falling back over them and throwing my arm and taking the bump. And then over time, I was able to do it without them being there. And, look, you take enough bumps, your body either builds up to be able to take the punishment, or your body breaks apart. It's just that simple. It is that simple. I'll never forget my doctor years ago saying, Scott, your family does something that, you're going to pay for this later in life. Your body, your family can't do this forever and all you guys be in great shape. You know that, right? And of course, I was in my 20s. What does this guy know? He only went to medical school to learn how to do all this. But I'm a wrestler. I know better than him, right?
Oh yeah.
It's like politics today. All the politicians, they all know better than everybody else. But anyway, he goes, he says, your body is literally going to fall apart. And, I didn't think anything about that. And now, you wake up in the morning and your neck's stiff or your lower back is stiff. And, I'm one of those dudes. I try to stay positive in my life about everything. You can wake up every morning and your neck be sore, and you can preach that all day. I could walk into the kitchen and tell my wife, my neck's hurting so bad today. And literally, this is my opinion, all you're doing is preaching a negative day.
Yep.
You're laying the groundwork for, the last thing, when I see you, Mike, away from the podcast, the last thing you want to hear is me going, "Yeah, my back's bad today and my neck's bad." Hey, man, look, everybody's got problems.
Yeah.
Everybody does. You don't want to hear me preaching about my neck hurt. Another example. So I'm 61. I had to go to the doctor, the typical every 6 months, blood pressure check and all that gaga. And so I go to do it. There's a dude sitting across from me, and the whole time I'm thinking, he's probably about my age. He is preaching, "Yeah, my back's messed up, my knee hurts, I got to do that. Yeah, I'm on this medication, I'm on that medication," and he's just really telling everybody in the waiting room all his ailments. So in a minute, they call his name, and he starts to get up, and he's all slow. And I said, "Sir, hey, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?" And he said, "I'm 58. And I didn't say anything. I said, "Oh, okay. Oh, well, hey, good luck to you." And he walks on back. And in my mind, I'm thinking, bless his heart. That dude at 58 years old has doomed himself to just negativity and misery. And anybody that will listen, I want to tell you what a horrible shape I'm in, what a horrible life I have. Hey, man, come on. I woke up this morning. It's a good day. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's how I look at it. So the last thing people want to hear about is all my wrestling, and I didn't tell that doctor that day when he was telling me, your family shouldn't do this. My dad lived to be 80. He had cancer all in his shoulders and in his back and prostate. And he worked out with weights all the way up to probably, I don't know, 8 weeks, 6 weeks before his death. He was still in the gym doing pulls and biceps and I'll never forget 2 weeks before he died, he said, "Son," it was me and my son went to see him. He was staying out at Brian's house, and he said, "Son, just never stop doing something. Never stop working. Never stop going to the gym. Never stop, because when you stop, it's over." And so I try to wake up every morning and think about that conversation and think about the mindset of, look, man, I've had injuries. I have. You want me to sit here and cry about them all? You don't. The listeners don't. The viewers don't. They don't care. You know what I mean? They all woke up this morning. They got their own cross to bear. Just want to sit and talk about it, man. Just stay positive and live your life. That's the way I see it.
That's perfect right there. Stay positive, live your life, man. That's
Amen.
a I try to stay positive all the time, man. But my wife says I have one of them RBFs,
What's a RBF?
a resting bitch face, where people look at me like I get people tell me all the time. They're like, "This guy is an asshole," and my wife's like, "He's not really. Like he's the funniest guy you'll ever meet. He will tell jokes all day." But if
Oh,
I'm
that's
sitting there and I'm like,
awesome.
I'll be just fine, just whatever, just
Yes,
but I'm in a great mood. But
yes, yeah, man. We woke up this morning. It's a good
that's
day.
yes,
That's the way
sir.
I see it.
But
Uh,
going back to talking about the referees and the folks of today are different. We recently lost two referees, two of your friends and
yeah,
coworkers. You want to share anything on them today in memory of them?
sure, man. I would love to. The Hebners were. I mean, the Hebner name, is synonymous with referees in our industry, and um, everybody in the business knew that last name, the Hebners, and Dave and his brother Earl and Brian, um, and you think of the years and the travel that they put in, and to recently lose Dave was such a blow, and then with like 2 to 3 days later to lose Tim White. Timmy White was like another a name. He was Andre the Giant's handler, and he and Andre were just great friends and traveled together. But when you think about um, the Hebner name and Timmy White, and you think, wow, man, you don't realize in our industry, you don't realize people get older. You just don't think of it. You know what I mean? They were just always there. They were always, and when I say always there, their timing in the ring, uh, everything about them was just, they were just people that you look forward to seeing in the locker room. Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, how are you? They weren't the guy that you see in the locker room and go, oh, I wouldn't even have a beer with that guy. You know what I mean? That was not either one of those guys. So having gained two really good dudes, really good dudes. They say, oh, never meet your heroes. Well, that wasn't true. And I mean, look, if you were a referee and you really appreciate referees, those were two dudes that you did want to meet. They'd be the heroes that you did want to meet. They were good men, and it's a definite loss to the to the human race, but to the industry too, the wrestling industry, because they were really good men.
Yep.
And a lot of times I do the 10 bell salute, and so from our podcast, the 10 bell salute for those two guys. And I think a lot of people feel the way I know a lot of the talent, the
Yeah.
wrestlers, I know they feel like I do when it comes to those two guys.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. Our thoughts and prayers, both mine and I know Scott's, go out to their family, friends, coworkers, everybody who cared about them. They're going to be missed in the industry and with their families.
Yep, for sure. For sure.
So,
Always tough to lose somebody in this business. You know what I mean? It just is because it's, the wrestlers, male or female, it's the family outside of your family. And I know, like, well, I mean, I'll use Fit Finley. I've used him as the example before, but like, I'd be around him or William Regal. I'd be around those guys 5 days a week and home for sometimes you're home a day and a half. And so I'm here. I would be at my house with my wife and kids for a day and a half, but I'm with those guys the rest of the week. And you travel with them and rent a car and Arn and Mike Rotundo. Oh my God, Mike Rotundo! What a great dude that guy is, man. I love traveling with him. But that was your family,
yeah.
and so to when you like Rotundo got released, and then I got released, a long time after him, but we just got released. It's just a job. You know what I mean? My brother Brian, he always said, "Well, I was looking for a job when I got this one. Like another one will come around." You know what I mean? And it's true. Something else will come around, whether you're working the drive-through window or at the mall. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Something's going to come up. But they did. You don't die. You don't pass away. You just lost a job. So at the end of the day, I ran into at WrestleCon. I just had the elevator door open. There was Mike Rotundo, and I just hugged him. You just go, dude. And so that's what you're always thinking about when you lose a gig is, oh, I'll see that guy again. And so I remember the last time I saw Timmy White, uh, it was backstage, and we were in Boston, and hug his neck and shoot the breeze with him. And I don't even know how many years ago that was, within 5 for sure. But you just always expect to see him again. You know what I
Yep.
mean? There's no so, and the Hebners, you just always expect to see those guys again. And so then when you hear something like that, it's just like, oh man, Hermie Sadler, who is a former NASCAR race driver, he and his brother Elliot. So Hermie had just gone and seen Dave, and took a picture with him and tweeted about it. And Hermie is, man, he's one of those guys, man. He doesn't forget people. And he just went. He heard he was in bad shape, and he went to see him. And it just so happened within a week, Dave's gone. But it's like I'm saying from my end, not being able to see him at all, and then he's gone. Same with Timmy. You know what I mean? You just
Yeah.
always expect to see him again.
Yeah.
So it was very, very shocking. Scott Hall was the same way. To hear, wait, what? You know what I mean? It was like that. My brother
Yeah.
Brad, wow, same thing. You just always expect to see people again.
Yeah.
So take this time today, tell somebody you love them, and realize it's a great day and make the best of it. Always.
That is the truth, brother. 100% the truth. You never know when it's your time or somebody else's time to cross that other bridge. And
You don't. My wife. So sometimes I know I'm too positive with her, because she's got the same job she's had for 35 years with the whole time we've been married, and so she walked out the door, and I said, "Okay, girl, have a good day." And she said, "Well, I hope it will be." And I started laughing and said, "It's gonna be a great day." And she just turned around with that face and said, "Yeah, okay, it's gonna be a great day." And I said, "Well, the best part about it is you're adding to your 401k. And if something happens to you, I get it all." he just, she just walked to the car and stopped and looked back and said, "I do hate you." And I just started laughing. I was, "All right, girl, love you, bye." Oh,
man,
yeah.
that's hilarious. and adding to the 401k. And if something happens, you get it.
I get it all. I
That's
hope I
right.
do. I don't know if it's probably going to somebody else.
Probably,
I did spend 35 years away from home, so I don't know who's getting that money.
she's probably got it in the kids.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
I know. I put my 401k and my kids. Well, my wife and my kids. I have it divided up the way it works, but the state of Georgia, with firemen, we get this different kind of stuff, so it works out.
Good, man. Yeah, hey, man, got to plan ahead. Got to plan
Yeah,
ahead.
I've been working with my mom on that, trying to get hers and my dad's stuff, but I don't want to think about it. That's what I told her. I said,
Part
don't bring that to me.
That's it. Well, it's a part of life, dude. I'm telling you, people don't realize. Look, my mom passed away, and 8 weeks to the date, 8 weeks later, my dad passed away. So, people, please do you. I know this in wrestling, and I'm sorry because people. That's the kind of thing. Planning 2 funerals in 8 weeks is something nobody thinks about. Nobody wants to think about it because, oh yeah,
Yeah,
I'll do that when the time comes. It would have been so much easier on my brothers and I if we had got ahead of the game, but we didn't.
yeah,
Everybody's gonna live forever, and everybody doesn't. And so we, looking back on that, my wife, her parents are still alive, and they're in their mid 70s, and I tell her all the time, it's not something anybody feels comfortable saying. Hey, look, when you pass, nobody feels comfortable with that, but it is a reality of life. It just
yeah,
is. And so take care of it, man. Come on.
yeah.
It's just something you got to take care of. So do it.
100%.
Man up.
Put that on a T-shirt. Start selling it. Shows "Man Up."
Yeah, man up. Plan funerals.
Yep.
Oh God,
So
that's horrible.
it's
Yeah,
that's
that's
a
horrible.
that's
That's horrible. I'm sorry. I apologize for that.
no. But no, this was fun, man. We had a good episode. I think on the next one, I think we should dive into some days as your tag team with your brother Steve
Oh yeah,
in
man.
in
Yeah, we
WCW. I would love to
yeah
get
we
into that.
we had years of tagging and good stories. No
So
doubt
this is the
about it.
first four that will drop on today. You guys are gonna have to listen for it. These four are gonna drop immediately as soon as the podcast launches, and everything else
Like
after
and
that.
subscribe. Yes, like and subscribe. Hit the like button. That helps the channel.
Yep.
Please subscribe. We need those subscribers. And
Comment. Let us know.
yeah, Spotify, Apple Podcast.
Yep. You can leave reviews on Apple and Spotify. On YouTube, you can leave comments. You can like and let us know what you think. As always, you can find us on Twitter at
Yeah,
Big Mike the host, at WWE Armstrong, and at Armstrong Avenue Pod. And do not forget that if you need a referee for your independent promotion or you want some hot biscuits made in your oven,
yeah, I got to send you that.
book Scott Armstrong at gmail.com. And as of episode 4, I'm still waiting on the biscuits at my house.
Yeah, yeah, I'll send those. I'll send them regular snail mail. You'll get them about a month.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, we'll get them in a month. But this was fun, man. I look forward to the next one. As always, until next time, we're going to get
thank
out of
you.
here.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, Big
Thank
Mike.
y'all. Yep.